Hi guys, it's Mark from the SAGS 68 in France, and today we have a special guest, the RC4VD Carbon Assault. This is the type of truck you're gonna love and hate. There are some cool stuff from there, from the way they build it up, and there are some other stuff from there who is underneath the ground. From the same wise, it's really strange. The look from the car is anybody's choice. I don't see what Rocket Shark has to do with carbon. Maybe it's a comic book or something like that. I don't look TV, so I don't know. I not read a lot of books. That's why I'm a little bit stupid. He looks nice. It's a real nice looking monster truck. And once again, brand make a scale looking monster truck with only 4 shocks. Stop to do that. Stop it. Really, we want to have 2 or 3 shocks on each side like the real ones. If it should be a scale looking stuff, sorry, it's the way it had to look. The price here in Europe from that car is absolutely crazy. It's nuts, it's a nonsense. We pay for this 900 euros. And this is a monster truck, but RC4VD set it up like a crawler. That's strange for us because there are no discipline in that, and the guys who want to crawl buy a crawler, not a monster truck. So that's a strange choice. So because of that choice, he has no differential in there. He has a brushed motor, and you see for $1,000 you get a brushed system in there. That's crazy. We would have for this money a brushes system and a sensor system. We have nice done alloy parts at the suspension, at sway bars, at the axle housings and all that stuff. But we have super cheapy suspension. The setup is bad. It's okay for crawl, okay, it's enough, but sorry, this is like a toy thing, so it's not the big stuff. You have just to put some better oil in the suspension. The problem is for me, these shocks here. You know that shocks if you are used to be on the internet, because if you go to AliExpress, you find that shocks for about $7 to $10 each pair. You have $1,000 truck with $7 shocks. That's for me strange. They look like good, but they are not. You can bend the shaft even if they're big. You can lose the spring retainer. They also work not super fine. So this is for me a wrong choice. I don't understand it for that price. If it would be a cheap truck, okay, because you find this one at cheap trucks from Enjoy or something, but not at such a high price truck. Here in Europe, for thousands, you get an X-Max. Oops, yeah. The Losi LMT costs about 650. He's more powerful, he's stronger, he looks really more scaled than that one. But I understand people who like the brand, who like the way they build it up. It's no issue. It's not a complaint. It's just for me personal, a nonsense. So we have super nice looking tires like at the Losi LMT. Looks like the Proline Demolisher, but it's a 4VD brand tire. It feels cool from the form and from the rubber. You have Bedlocks tires, and we have also nice and realistic looks in there. You just have to put away 2 screws to put this cap away and go to the screw. That's smart. These tires weight 450 grams. That's the weight from that's heavier than 1/8 scale monster truck tires, normal tires. I mean, not MFT or high HP tires from Proline. I mean, normal monster truck tires weighs about 360, 380 grams, and this one are heavier. Here I have the Proline's Punisher for LMT. This one are bigger, brighter, and 360 grams. So I understand the heavy weight from that tires because of the bead lock, and also back to what I say in the beginning, this truck was set up as a crawler. So you have heavy weight underneath, don't have to put or add extra weight, he can crawl. Okay, I'm okay with that. I understand that setup for this. So, but it's so heavy that many people breaks the drive shafts. So the owner from that truck already have a pre-order 3 sets of drive shafts and also the optional differential gear. We're gonna put that in because even if you want to crawl, if you use differentials and put 20 million thick oil in there, you'll be still able to crawl, but you still are also able to damping stress at the transmission. So for me, it's the better choice to have a differential with really super thick oil. You also crawl more realistic because all new trucks had LSD differential or traction control. So when you are driving, you not have any more to go out from the truck and lock the spool here and there and go to 4-wheel drive and all the stuff. The trucks does it by himself. Usually look like the new Mercedes G-Class or ML Class or the new Range Rover, that all that stuff, they are automatic. That means if one tire begins to spin, the differential will lock himself slowly. The more you spin, the more he lock, and then you go smooth over there. That's the type of reaction you're gonna get with that. I try it, I really love it. So I don't tell it's what you have to do. I don't tell you you are wrong if you not have if you have a locked axle, but it's for me it's nicer to drive. Because you have locked diff, you need also a real big turning ratio because the car is stiff. Oh, look at that. We get no here and there. What's up? So you need a big turning ratio, a steering angle. I mean, sorry, to have a nice turning ratio. And there we have another issue on this truck. You go way more with the tire in the arm that you have room. Look at this. This is way too much. You can set up at the radio system. We come back and the radio system after that. You can lock the direction about here, but you still will have in the effort the tire rubbing at the arm. That's not something disturbing for me, but I understand many people don't want that because you want to get the spoor in there on the arm, but if you crawl, you're already gonna have some spoor from using there. So the body, it's just a normal body and a cheap one also. If you move the body, I don't do it, and again, because in the French version I put the body away and tell, oh, it's not super in quality, and as I push here, I already break it. Just so. I just push the body that way and crack. There was it. So you get a second body with it. Wow! You get 2 bodies! Wow! But where's the joke? I prefer to have 1 thick body than 2 cheap body. It's also not an issue, you can put what you want on a truck. But underneath the truck you see the next step I'm not happy with. And don't misunderstand me. I love it. But I'm complaining here about some stuff we should have with such a high priced car. We have super cheap body post like really 1/10 kil on-road cars. That's bad. We have absolutely no bumper, nothing to protect the body, no cage underneath. If it should like a scale truck, why has a carbon chassis? Scale real truck has no carbon chassis, but it looks like nice. We love it. That's nice. We have beefy sway bars. You can put the damper here and put the sway bar the other way here, so you have a different suspension reaction. For those who want to do more monster truck stuff, you have to put the differential in there and you have to reverse the suspension so it works better. You get this truck, I would say, with a brushed cool ESC who can put 7.4 volt out at the BEC, but set up stock at 6 volt. I don't know if it's because the receiver don't take more than 6 volts, because the servo can take 7.2 volts. So that's really strange for me. If you have a heavy BEC and have heavy, HV servos, why don't use it? Steering servo is a steel servo, but not the hard steel. I don't know how powerful it is. Should be enough. We have an alloy case, looks like a GX servo something or something like that. We have an alloy servo horn. You have no servo saver because it's made for crawl. If you're gonna go to monster trucking, think I'll put here a damper in there or a servo saver here. The crazy thing, you have the same servo at the shift. You have a 2-gear shift with a car with no differential, and that's also a strange choice. It's okay if you drive in sand, but if you drive on harder surface, take care in the 2nd gear, especially because out from the box this ESC is set like a boat ESC, front backwards. Yeah, I think the better choice would be to have front brake in the rear and how to say, the motor brake set up to 50%. So if you let the throttle go, the car brakes to 50% and then you can go backwards, because this is really brutal. So you have no diff, you have heavy tires and you have forward backwards. That's in a 2nd gear. Imagine you're in 2nd gear, you hit the throttle, drive about 30 kilometers an hour, 25, and then let the throttle go. You immediately lock the axle and you will overflip and destroy something in the gear. You have to go really slow and smooth and throttle and backwards. So think on it. Take care. The setup from the ESC with a 2-gear and no differential is really strange for me. You have to know it. Many people are used to drive this way, that's why they're gonna take this car, I understand that, but think on the common people. Then you have the same servo at the shift without any servo saver too. That means if something is wrong done, you're gonna break your gear because you push or how to say, push. And the other thing from pushing is to, I forget the word, sorry. So you know what I mean. You have to take care about that. So you can put here battery in front or in rear like you want, put ESC in the rear, you can put electronic in the center, put 2 battery, use shorty, whatever you want. That's nice to have really plenty of room for the battery. Underneath you have the gearbox and alloy skid, alloy main part from the chassis, alloy arms. Housing is plastic, that's okay. You also have plastic output from the housing. Why? Because of breakdowns. This is used like a fuse. If you land too hard, you will break here some plastic stuff and not immediately just bend or destroy an axle. That's okay, I understand that. What I not like is the open gear here. You have mod 08 so it's not gonna be too noisy, but it's a really opened gear, and all the sand and the dirt comes from the front when you drive, so this is a really strange. Look at this, if you turning and hit the throttle and the tire spin, you send all the dirt at the motor and main gear. You have a slipper in there, so that's a good point, but that's wrong. Should be closed here. Closed, sorry. We have the tiny, cheapy, boring brushed motor in there. I don't talk about a brushless motor for go faster, but for you even can be so smooth and brushless, even smoother with the new brushless system than with the this type of motor. And this type of motor costs about $1.50 in China. That's not a joke. You can go see you when you go to AliExpress and just tip 530 brushed 27T. You're gonna get such a motor for $2 or $5 with the post. So I don't understand that. It's such a high price truck. Also, I have something strange here. He moves back and forwards. So we're gonna you have to put the main gear away. Maybe to tighten the screw here to look what happens here. So the other thing, maybe for me, if this would be my truck for $1,000, I would like to have it with front and rear steering out from the box. I would like it to have it with 4 shocks out from the box and a brushless system in there. For that price, that's what I expect. I understand if this all is made in America, handmade and small series, it's something who costs. But regarding the fact that the Losi LMT is tougher, better, faster, for less price, and you also have the Sen. If you take the Sen monster truck, you have 8 shocks, you have also brushed system, but the truck is lighter, so it's faster. He has differential there, you can lock it, you can do many stuff with a way cheaper truck, especially if you just want to crawl. If you just want to crawl, why spend so much money for this? Because it's nice! That's anytime the gameplay, I understand it. So, how I say before, don't misunderstand me. I'm the crazy type of guy who gonna spend so much money for such a tiny truck anyway. But what really shocked me out of the box is that this is the cheapest radio I get out from the box since years in a RC car. Sorry, but I have here some small scale toy trucks. They even have a better radio system than that. It works, you have a fine range, and what's cool on it, you have the dual rate from the steering, from the gas, from the third channel, that means the gear. So take care to set up here properly your gear shafts to not destroy anything at your gears. So really begin at 0 and then shift to see when it's engaged and when it's unengaged. Throttle, you can set up less brake if you go to brake here, not just in both system. The steering can be locked, that's a good point with these big tires, but this is really super over cheap. This is really no way for that money. So the nice thing about is when you are out there, it's rainy, it's muddy, and you do some mud runs, yeah, it's just a cheap radio, so don't matter what happened to the radio system. I usually use such cheap radio on all my cars. I drive the stock Traxxas because they have no issue with water and mud. I drive some cheap FlySkys and I drive some the Chimeso stock radio system, and also Dumbo X4 or X6, because it's a cheap radio for 25-30 bucks. It has super long range, you have 6 channel, and if something happen, it's not high in price. Many people are used to get some really high priced radio system with digital things, with a smartphone on the top, like the FlySky Noble. I understand that, but for me, as an off-road rough guy, it's not the right choice for me, because I take care of my car, but I never take care of the radio system. So it's not bad, it's just strange regarding the price from the truck. But in the end, like any time, this truck gonna work, and we're gonna have fun with the truck, and we're gonna be happy and forget all about that. The only thing we're gonna do is clearly put a brushless system in there. The owner from this car don't had buy it to make a crawler. We're gonna put the differential in there, we're gonna put the brushless system, we're gonna set up the suspension for monster trucking, but smooth monster trucking. We don't go for a brushless to drive 60-70 miles an hour. We still wanna just realistic, cool monster truck. Like the LMT. We really love the LMT here in Europe. What I not like at the LMT is that they overgear the system. When you wanna drive, we have a really big cocking underneath. That's something we don't like. We all put our brushless system in there, or a sensor system, to have a smooth truck. But the rest of the truck is really nice done, especially with the new axles on there. We have no more breakdown on the axles. Unlike the axial rift, we are really not happy here in Europe with the axial rift. The plastic are too cheap, they break already. Anytime we go out, we break something at this axial rifts, and that's boring. So, back to the truck. I forget myself. I tell it once again, I love the truck. I don't love the price, but is anyway here. If you have one, guys, tell me what have you modified, what had you at breakdown, what did you recommend from the truck, and what did you not recommend to change or do, or options at this truck. And I repeat, we're gonna drive it gently. We're not gonna bash it. It's just for a cool monster truck run and nothing else. Bye guys.